Okay, this video will wrap up what you need for the first final that you're going to take, the part one. They want us to solve this quadratic, and you cannot get r by itself here because there's an r squared and an r. So your options are quadratic formula, complete the square, or factoring. And this guy will factor r minus 8 and r plus 1. If you take your negative 8 and you made your factors, you're looking for one that will get you the negative 7, and 1 and negative 8 will do that. You set that equal to 0, and this times this equals 0. So either this guy equals 0 or this guy equals 0. And if r minus 8 equals 0, then you get 8. And if r plus 1 equals 0, you get negative 1. So your answers are 8 and negative 1. Okay. On this one, this is an absolute value equation. And if you remember, if it's a less than, you're going to have an and. So then that means inside of here, it could be a 1 or a negative 1. And we go with an x plus 4 equals 1 and an x plus 4 equals negative 1. We treat it like it's an equal sign. You subtract 4 on this one and you get negative 3, and you subtract 4 on this one and you get negative 5. On a number line, you would have negative 5 here and negative 3 here because negative 5 is smaller. It doesn't have an equal, so it's going to be two open circles or two parentheses, and the and looks like a sandwich, so it kind of looks like this. And all the answers are anything from negative 5, and I put a parenthesis instead of a bracket because there's not an equal sign, to negative 3. So which one of the graphs is correct? It's the one that has a negative 5 to negative 3 with parentheses. There it is at D. Okay, on this guy, it says use the quadratic formula to solve. Go ahead and get 0 on one side first. So you'll have to subtract the 5x to get 0. And then you do the quadratic formula. X equals negative b, that's 5, plus or minus square root. Do b squared in your head, that's 25. Write down the minus 4, but then do a and c in your head, all over 2a, which is 8. So that's 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 80. 25 minus 80 is negative 55 over 8. You can't have that negative there, so that's where this I is coming in. So there will be an I. You love math here, so you have 5/8 plus or minus I square root of 55 over 8. So the choice here is D. The other one had a negative 5/8. Find the zeros of this guy. I would do quadratic formula again. X equals negative b, that's a 2, plus or minus square root. B squared is 4 minus 4. A times c, be very careful here with the sign. 5 and negative 8 is negative 40, all over 2a, which is 10. 2 plus or minus, this will be 4 minus 160, which is a negative 156 over 10. Definitely is going to have a 1/5 here whenever you simplify things out. Now, what goes into the 156? Let's go ahead and take 156 divided by 2. We're definitely going to get an I. So my choices are between these two. Actually, I won't even need to finish it because this one is a positive 1/5 and this one doesn't. The answer is going to be C. But I think maybe 4 maybe goes in there. 156 divided by 4. Yeah, that would be a 39. So there is definitely 39. But the answer is C. Excuse me. Oh. I wonder what I did. Let's back it up. Okay. Negative b plus or minus square root. B squared is 4 minus 4 times negative 40 all over. Oh, there isn't an I. I'm sorry. 4 plus 160. 4 plus 160. Oh, Miss Bruno. All over 2a, which is 10. Sorry. 2 plus or minus, this is 164. All over 10. 164 divided by 4 is 41. And there's not going to be an I. So 41 is the one with the positive 1/5. And I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Okay, multiply these, just double distribute. You have to double distribute, and you have to remember that I squared is -1. 8 times 7 is 56, minus 16i, plus 35i, minus 10i squared, which becomes a plus 10. They want the number part first, so that's 66. And then you just take -16 plus 35. It's a positive 19i. So 66 plus 19i. Okay, I to the 15th. We're going to change it to an even. So I to the 14th times I, because we want to know how many I squareds are hiding here. And there are 7. I squared is -1 to the 7th times I. -1, an odd number of times, is negative. And then you still have your I left. I to the 52. It's already even, so you could take I squared to the 26th power if you divide it by 2. That's -1, an even number of times, which will be +1. Okay, this one, I would use my calculator on this. We're going to go ahead and type this into our calculator. All right, what I got? I have 3x squared minus 24x plus 53. Okay, and we're going to look at the graph. Here's the graph. And the first thing they want to know is the vertex. So you're going to go to second, calculate. We are looking for the minimum, 3. Left bound, you hit your arrow till you can find it here. There it is. Okay, so hit enter for it to start looking. Then hit the right arrow till it's on the other side of that minimum. Enter one more time, and there it is. It's at 4, 5. So the vertex is at 4, 5. The maximum is the y value. The y value will be 5. That's the lowest that will go. It's actually a minimum here. The range is what y is allowed to be. The lowest point on my graph is 5, and it can equal 5. So this time it's going to be a square bracket. Where the heck is the square bracket? Square bracket 5 to infinity. Goes up forever. And when is it increasing? Okay, it's increasing on the right side. Now we're going back to the x. It's increasing from 4 to infinity. We're going to use open parentheses for everything here. 4 to infinity. And then it's decreasing from negative infinity to that x value again, which is 4. Okay, is this part of the... Yeah, I don't know if these next two are on this test. Oh, wait, it says that's chapter 4. Do you see how it says up here? So I have one more. Okay. This guy, we got to get a by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the square root by squaring both sides. And I will get w squared is 4 over ar. You can't have ar in the bottom, so we will multiply both sides to get it on the top. And now I'll have ar w squared equals 4. And then to get a by itself, you just divide both sides by rw squared. So you get 4 divided by rw, and the w is squared. All right, that's it. That's enough for you to do the first mini final. And I'll get the video going on the next one probably this weekend or tomorrow.